Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is JB.
And I'm Chandler, and this is the Unbiased Hard Take.
And on today's Unbiased Hard Take, Topic 1, me and JB here are going to wrap up Week 1, discuss one big topic from Week 1 that we thought happened and want to discuss with you guys, and then we're going to move on to Week 2 predictions, of course. JB, what is your one thing for Week 1 that kind of struck out to you a little bit in that recap?
I will tell you. Well, there's quite a few upsets, but before we go into the Week 1 topic, me and Chandler decided that we're going to do records on, like we said on the last podcast, we're going to do a recap of what the Week 1 was and see how we're doing. So, for starters, Chandler is 10-6.
Woo, 10-6.
That is our prediction, or he predicted for Week 1, and we're going to keep adding on each week to see who is the best, has the best record at the end of the season, of the regular season. And then whoever loses, we'll have to DoorDash a meal, and we will post it on our Facebook page. The link of our Facebook page is down below. And here is my record, and I am 8-8. I have a lot of catching up to do, but it is fine. We're fine. We're just cooking with the like I said, it's Week 1. A lot of good teams struggled within Week 1. Now, when I mean a lot, I mean a lot of people that struggled. And we're starting off with the Chiefs and the Lions on Thursday night. When we predicted, we already knew about the Chris Jones signing contract, which, by the way, that contract is not a good contract for him. And the news of Travis Kelce not playing, I would have changed my prediction, but I said, you know what? Nope. I'm sticking with the Kansas City Chiefs. But even though they lost by a point, but the Chiefs did look good, except for Cordavis, Brick Cantoni. He's the one that screwed him big time with that tip pass with the pick six. So that was a bit of a downfall. I don't know how you can get 1 yard and with only like 4 attempts or 4 targets, only 1 catch for 1 yard. I don't get that. So yeah. Good win for the Lions. That's built up their confidence up quite a bit. I do believe that they're probably going to win the division, but we'll see later on down the road. But all right, Chandler, what do you think about the Chiefs and the Lions on Thursday of last Thursday?
The Chiefs and the Lions last. I kind of agree with you. I think if they had Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, they'd been just fine. Mm-hmm. But I give it up to the Lions. Obviously, they won the game. I'm not too big into what could have happened. This happened. They went out there. They went out against each other. The real game happened, not speculation. The real game happened. They won the game. I'll give them that. Yep. But you're correct. If that tip ball by Tony isn't picked off and then ran back for 6, obviously the score was 21-20. So we're probably having a different conversation.
Yep. I do believe
really,
so.
I figured you'd go with the Chiefs there. My big takeaway from Week 1, really, for me, is the fact that Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow are all 0-1. Joe Burrow had less than 100 passing yards. T. Higgins didn't have a single reception.
Nope.
They even shut Jamar Chase down. Bengals offense looked like crap. And now I'm not selling my stock on the Bengals. It's one game. I'm not selling my stock on the Bills either. It's one game. It's a long season. There's still 16 more games to be played. Yep. But that's my big takeaway, that Mahomes struggled to a point. He did. Joe Burrow definitely struggled. And Josh Allen was probably the best player on the entire Jets defense.
You mean offense?
No. Because, my God, he was throwing them right to the Jets players.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
He was throwing it in triple. He was throwing it triple coverage. Yes, he was the best player on the Jets defense.
Yeah, I mean, throwing in triple coverage. I don't understand why he did that. his receivers is not honestly. He has good receivers. He has Stephon Diggs, and yes, can he catch in triple coverage? Yes. Can he do it all the time? No. But he wasn't even throwing it to Stephon Diggs when he was doing the triple coverage.
Oh.
But
He threw three interceptions and lost a fumble. He had 4 total turnovers. My God, that's 1 turnover a quarter.
yeah.
Holy crap! No wonder you lost.
Well, let's not forget about the Bills punter.
That's true.
I don't know what attempt that was. You had a clear shot at his legs to tackle him. Even try to like get him like to stumble because you had other players or have like 1 or 2 other players around him to get a tackle.
Right.
But no, you didn't. You just touch his. All you did is touch a shoulder. Touch a shoulder. That's it. Like that was probably one of the worst. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for here?
When we played, we used to call them effort plays.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the word. Effort. He had no effort at all.
No, he didn't.
So
Kickers and
it's
punters. Some don't. Some of them are they're pussies.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
yeah. There's no Pat McAfee.
No.
He ain't no Pat McAfee. I can tell you that. He can lay the boomstick when he wants to. He's not scared of it.
No.
But
With that, we're going to move on to week 2. This is the big one truly, because week 1 sometimes I've noticed is sort of weird. You have a lot of weird things happen in week 1. You have teams upset each other. Joe Burrow under 100 yards. It seems to happen every year. So there's
probably
going to be
the only
a lot of teams that are 1-0 that are false teams. They're frauds.
probably the only team that actually looked good was the 49ers. And week 1.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I thought they would at least put up a fight, but I could say this, everyone's saying it. Kenny Pickett was not himself that game. He was not connecting. He was making plays that he was making last season, and he wasn't making plays this season. Even on the preseason, he had almost a perfect PR.
He did.
So it's all what if. What if he played more? It's all what ifs. But I can say he wasn't himself that game. And yes, we lost Devontae Johnson.
Yes.
For a couple of weeks, and I just seen today Cam Hayward, he's on the IR, so he's gonna miss about 4+ games. I think it's for his hamstring, I do believe. I'm just doing it on top of my head, but that's one of our big persons on our defense. But the only person that actually looked good was TJ Watt in that game. He is first in sacks in the entire NFL with 3 sacks. He's the only one that actually looked good. Like, we couldn't stop nothing on defense. Our safeties wasn't covering the stuff they were supposed to. The first touchdown of Brandon Ayuk, safety went ahead and covered the slant. I don't know why he went to cover the slant, but I don't say that was not Patrick Peterson's fault. It was the safety's fault. I think it was our new safety that we signed this year is Kazi. I forgot his first name. He went to cover something else, and he should have stayed in his zone spot because they were playing. They were in a cover 3, I do believe, if I seen that correctly. They were in a cover 3, and the safety was just, he bounced inside and kept that wide open.
Well, I mean, I'm going to give Kenny Pickett sort of the benefit of the doubt. I mean, it was against the San Francisco defense. Now they play the Browns defense Monday night this week, so we'll see what they do. But
I could say this. Out of the 4 quarterbacks in the division, Kenny Pickett probably did the best, in my opinion.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson didn't look very good.
Lamar Jackson didn't look too good. Even they had that. Even they have OBJ and Zay Flowers, which he looked good. Zay Flowers did look
He
good.
did.
He has the moves. But yeah, Lamar Jackson didn't look too good. Joe Burrow probably the worst I've seen in him being in week 1. Deshaun Watson, he didn't even look the best either.
They all kind of disappointed.
So they all disappointed me, but
We'll get back to the Steelers. However, there's a game happening right now, and that is the Vikings and Eagles. Me and JB are keeping up on that as we speak, actually, and kind of keeping tabs on that and watching that as we speak. So we're going to go ahead and predict that since the game just started. JB, who you got tonight? Minnesota or Philadelphia?
I am going with Philadelphia, even though right now they are up 3-0 in the first quarter with 8 minutes left, and they have the ball. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to be. And it looks like Jalen Hurts is dotting them up left and right, even though they couldn't get up down the field or they were in the red zone. They only got 3 points out of it, which that was kind of downside on my part on them. But I'm going with Philadelphia. Just because on the downside, they lost to the Tampa Bay with Baker, Tom Brady, Mayfield. Tom Brady 2.0, baby. Let's go.
And we're both on record on this podcast stating that the Vikings would take a step back. Now, I figured they'd take a step back, but I didn't see them losing to the Buccaneers. That was a surprise.
I mean, well, they did. Baker did say he knew all the coverage signs from the Minnesota Vikings. And he was dotting them up. He was looking really good.
Then here's my question: why wasn't he dotting them up last year with the Panthers? That's my point when I say some of these 1-0 teams are fraud teams. The Buccaneers are one of them. With the Vikings losing to the Buccaneers, maybe the Vikings are regressing a little worse than we thought. I agree with you. Because of that, I'm taking the Eagles. The Eagles' offense was kind of a little sluggish compared to last year, the first game of the season against New England. But New England has a good defense. They were still able to get out of there with a win. That's more than the Vikings can say because they went in there and lost to a team worse than them, supposedly. So at least the Eagles got the win. I'm taking Philly.
Yep. I agree. Philadelphia. Moving
on, a divisional game. The Baltimore Ravens play the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'll probably say. I don't even know. They both looked horrible. Baltimore's defense looked a little bit better than what Cincinnati did, but I'm pretty sure Cincinnati is going to bounce back in week 2. Give me Cincinnati.
Yeah, I actually have the same. I agree with you. I actually think the Ravens. No, I don't think the Ravens are the better team, but I wouldn't be surprised if they won. But elite quarterbacks don't go 0-2. It's very rare for an elite quarterback to go 0-2. Normally, when a quarterback as good as Joe Burrow struggles like he did week 1, he normally comes right back out and lights them up.
Yep.
And Baltimore has some injuries right now. They lost J.K. Dobbins again. They had some injuries on the defensive side of the ball as well. The Ravens have a history of the injury bug, and it looks like it's already struck them one game into the year. And with Cincinnati wanting to rebound.
Yep. Sorry.
With Cincinnati wanting to make that rebound against that, they pretty much shit the bed against Cleveland. They really did. They shit the bed.
Yeah.
So they're not going to shit the bed again. They're going to come out with a vengeance. Cincinnati for me as well.
And them losing J.K. Dobbins, that's going to hurt their offense quite a bit. And especially when I could probably say that OBJ is probably a few catches away from going back in his injured self. So I do believe it's going to be a rough time for the Baltimore.
At least in this game, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on to the NFC, we have the Seattle Seahawks or versus the Detroit Lions? Who you got?
You know what? Seattle looked okay against
Lost
the
to the
Rams,
Rams.
but they did lose to the Rams. They looked good. Even Geno Smith got scared of Aaron Donald.
That's normal.
It is normal. But I don't think no one says, "Oh my God," while they're throwing the ball. While, oh man, that was just funny.
It was
But
funny.
Detroit looked better. They played better against my mind went blank. Kansas City. There we go. Now my mind's back in reality here. They looked better facing Kansas City. Give me Detroit.
As much as I hate to say it, I'm on record on this podcast before. I hate the Lions, but I'm on record as saying this: that the Lions will win the division.
Yep.
I truly think they're going to win the division. I think Green Bay will be that 7-seed wild card team. So, Seattle did not look very good against the Rams. I don't understand what happened, but they just did. The Rams out physical them. They beat them at the line of scrimmage. And that's the big thing. If you beat someone in the trenches, if you're more physical than them, the Rams were more physical than the Seahawks were. For those that kept track of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Them going against the Detroit Lions team that's hungry, they seem motivated, they seem like they're here and they're ready now.
Yep.
They just beat the defending champions on their Super Bowl parade night when they raised the banner against the Chiefs. If you can go in the Arrowhead and beat Patrick Mahomes like that, what makes me think you're not going to win at home against the Seahawks, who got their ass kicked at the line of scrimmage against the Rams, who are supposed to be one of the worst teams in the league? Seattle, I'm taking I'm taking Detroit. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to add on that one?
Nope. I'm just like I said. The Detroit's hungry. Seattle, I think they looked pretty good against the Rams, but not good enough to get the win. But I do believe that Detroit is going to be the better team. Jared Goff, he's on the run. He wants to go back to the Super Bowl. So I'd give me Detroit.
Okay. I agree. I think Detroit's kind of a dark horse team. People expect maybe the Eagles and Niners to make the Super Bowl. Maybe some crazy people think the Cowboys. Not me. However, yeah.
It's
The Detroit Lions. It's always the Cowboys' year. It's always their season. But I think the Lions could be that dark horse team that maybe surprise some people and have something to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. Another divisional game. The Indianapolis Colts or the Houston Texans.
Oh man, I don't know what it is with the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans, but the Houston Texans always plays 10 times more better when they play the Colts. It don't matter what their record is. It will always be a close game against Indianapolis and the Houston Texans. I don't get it. I don't get that concept. I don't get it. But
Well, it's a divisional game. There's a lot of pride there. It's sort of it's not like a super big rivalry in like NFL history, but it is a rivalry to a point. You know what I mean?
But it is the Houston Texans. I don't get it with them and the Indianapolis Colts. I don't get it. That's the thing. I don't get it. They could have the last. They can play the Indianapolis Colts at the end of the regular season, and they play 10 times harder facing the Indianapolis Colts every year. I don't get it. That's what doesn't get me. And they win most of the time. But it's not going to be this week. Give me the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson, he looked amazing against the Jaguars last game. But Trevor Lawrence, he played a lot better than what Anthony Richardson did. Indianapolis Colts defense, they looked good. But yeah, give me the Colts on this one. I think Anthony Richardson is going to tear the Houston defense apart.
Oh, okay. And I'm on record on this podcast, and I'm going to say it again. Out of this rookie draft class, I firmly believe that Anthony Richardson is going to be the best quarterback in this draft class. I think he should have been the number 1 overall pick. Nothing against Bryce Young, but I think Anthony Richardson's the real deal. Okay, so you look at his first game against the Jaguars, who were a playoff team and won a playoff game last year, and Trevor Lawrence, who some people think the top 5 quarterback in the league. How did he do? So let's see. He was 24 for 37, 64.9% completion percentage, not bad. 223 yards, I would say that's respectable. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, so even. But you also consider the fact that he had 40 yards rushing and 1 rushing touchdown as well. So overall, 2 touchdowns and 1 turnover total, a QBR of 79, which is slightly above average.
Mhm.
That's against a playoff team last year.
Right.
So, and his first game ever. I'd say that's a solid performance week 1. Of your first game ever, that's a good performance.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, their defense will, I think, kind of shock some people. They stopped Jacksonville a little better than I thought some people thought they would. I agree. The Colts have a history of dominating the Texans historically. I know recently they've played them kind of well, like you said, but historically, if you go back to the Houston franchise
Okay.
existence in 2002, they have dominated them. Mainly because of the Peyton Manning era. I think that will continue, so to speak. Give me the Colts. Richardson looked really good. Way better than CJ Stroud did.
Okay. Okay. And I'm sorry to bouncing away, but
Oh, no. You watched that play too?
Maddox. Yeah, I just seen that play. That looked first play on the the Vikings drive, and he just punched the ball out.
Right, and they teach you that. Always go after the ball. Always
Yep.
try to poke that out, and it worked. That's definitely a clear fumble, clear recovery by Philadelphia. Man,
11 turnovers in the first quarter.
Well, now we'll see if Philadelphia can actually punch the ball in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
Instead of stalling in the red zone type of deal.
why? There's an option on that play, and it went nowhere.
All right, Philadelphia
All
setting
right.
up. On to the next week. So we both got the Colts.
Yep.
All right, who we got? Chicago Bears, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know what? The Bears looked horrible. There's no shocker there.
Why I'm wearing this shirt, Packers Comeback. It's a Packers Comeback Bears shirt. Back
They-
a couple years ago.
The Bears when they faced the Packers, they looked horrible. Jordan Love was ripping the whole entire defense apart left and right, and Justin Fields is not him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bears fans, but Justin Fields is not your franchise quarterback. You should have drafted a quarterback in this draft class and put Justin Fields as your running back. That's what I should have done. But or you could be part of a Army Swiss knife. Could try to teach him to play receiver and go up to a running back and have wide receiver options, passing plays. You could have running back play or passing plays. You could switch all that up. He could be like the next Cordell Stewart when he played against with the Pittsburgh Steelers and a few other teams, which I forgot he played for. But I knew he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers because he was a receiver, he was a running back, he was a quarterback, he was our kick returner at one point and punt returner. And I do believe he kind of played defense for a little bit, but not too much. So you could be like him, but no one wants to be like that because every time when someone says something, oh no, it's stupid. But
people try to hype him up because they want a Bears quarterback to finally be good. And I'll say this about Fields. I'll let you make your prediction. I'll say this really quickly. I think I'm going to go on a football perspective, not the Bears perspective, because it's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. But I think I covered enough of that in my short take.
Mm-hmm.
Enough trash talk on my short take that I think I've covered all that. So from a football perspective, you're correct. He's what I call a YouTube quarterback. He has some really good highlights that look really freaking cool. And they do. He's a good athlete. He's a good running quarterback. I would say probably the second best running quarterback in the league behind Lamar Jackson. The difference is Lamar Jackson can actually throw. That's the difference. Like he'll make some good plays. He will.
Inaccurately.
And even more recently, Terrell Pryor, like you said, he was a similar way too. He came out as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Taysom Hill came out as a quarterback.
Yep.
And look what he does. He does all of it. So you're right. He could be an asset, but I agree with you. He's not the answer. With that being said, who you got? I'll let you make your pick now.
Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady 2.0 got taking him to the promised land.
Baker Mayfield, here it comes. He's going to win the league, go all the way.
In which I don't get to see the reason why that the Browns got rid of him. But that's just me.
They sold their soul to the devil.
And Baker Mayfield said no.
I agree. Baker looked good. I think, like I said, there's typically a few teams. Remember last year, I think if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, it was last year that the Panthers started out with a really good record.
Mm-hmm.
And then they, like the Jets did too, and then they kind of faded off. They're a pretender. I think the Buccaneers are going to be one of those teams this year. Chicago, I don't think is very good. Reminds you, they were the worst team in football last year. They held the number 1 overall pick. They just traded it to the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the worst team in football. You don't just go from the worst team in football to a playoff team unless a miracle happens.
Yep.
Tampa Bay looked really good against Minnesota last week. Baker Mayfield's been a good quarterback, at least, I would say, in the past. And he's at least proven it. Well, Justin Fields ain't proved crap. So I agree with you. Tampa Bay, they have a lot of good players still from that Super Bowl team. They have Godwin, they have Mike Evans. So they got some players still.
Yep. And I think it's just also because of Baker Mayfield. You could see how he progresses when there's a good foundation underneath him. When he went to win the Browns' first playoff game in over almost probably forever. I probably want to say like 2 decades. It feels like. So winning their first playoff game in decades.
Yes.
Because that was a good team. That was a good team, good foundation. You had a good defense. You had a good offense. And
He's been their best quarterback they've had since, I mean, in decades. Truly.
yeah, Otto Graham. There we go. Probably the best quarterback since Otto Graham. I mean, you probably can't think of any other quarterback that actually did good.
No.
That actually played for them. No.
Brady Quinn. No, exactly. So
That was
yeah.
probably the second worst bust in NFL history, probably right behind Ryan Leaf.
Jamarcus Russell's worse.
I'd probably say Ryan Leaf, Brady Quinn, and Jamarcus Russell are probably my top 3.
Oh yeah. Wow. Okay, that's an interesting take.
Yep.
That's an interesting take. I think Jamarcus Russell's probably the second worst. Brady Quinn was at least a serviceable backup in the NFL for a good period of time with the Chiefs. Jamarcus Russell wasn't even that.
I'd probably give you that, but when he played, he looked horrible. There was probably no good anything from him. Anyways, what is our next game?
Kansas City Chiefs against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Playoff rematch. Who you got?
I do believe that Cardavius Stonehands, I'm putting his air quotes unless he does it again. I think he's going to bounce back week 2, but probably not as the way that we are expecting it to be. But Calvin Ridley, he looked amazing. The Jacksonville's offense, they looked amazing. But Travis Kelce is going to be back. Chris Jones is going to be back. It's going to be a really close game, but give me Kansas City. I'm going back with Kansas City ever since whenever they. But it was just because Travis Kelce wasn't playing. Chris Jones hasn't signed his contract yet, and Cardavius Toney had his stone hands out. So, but all of them are going to be back. Kadarius Toney is probably going to be better, but not as much. But give me Kansas City.
I agree with you. Now, my God, I hope Tony's better. He can't be any worse. Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
And with Chris Jones's contract being resolved, and he returned to practice. He's been limited at practice. So I assume if you're limited in practice, you're at least going to play. He might be on a snap count, but it's better than not having him at all.
Depends
And
how
once
he's
again,
feeling.
right. And once again, they're 0-1. Patrick Mahomes is a two-time Super Bowl champion, been to 3 Super Bowls, and a league MVP.
Yep.
Best quarterback in the league. Like I said about Joe Burrow, those elite quarterbacks don't typically go 0-2.
Yep. Exactly.
So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it with that. I think I covered that with the Joe Burrow topic there. I don't see Patrick Mahomes falling to 0-2. I just don't.
If it is, there's something happened.
Right.
Probably another pick six by Kadarius Toney.
Literally. Moving on. Here we go. The Green Bay Packers or the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh. Now the Atlanta Falcons, they look good. They're Byron Johnson, I think that's his name. Brian Johnson, I think. Don't quote me on this. I'm looking up. Yeah. Bijan Robinson.
Bijan.
Yeah, Bijan.
Bijan Robinson, the rookie.
Yep. He looked good.
He did.
He's probably one of the, I'll probably say in the rookie class, he's probably one of the best receiving backs in this draft class.
Yes, easily.
But he does it all. He did absolutely a really good week 1. But their defense, the only person on their defense on Atlanta's defense that actually looked good was Jesse Bates. But and then Green Bay on the other side, even though they played Chicago, which it's no shocker there. We all knew Chicago is going to suck again this year.
Ownership week.
Exactly.
2 automatic wins every year.
It's all when Packers always play against Chicago, it's always going to be 1-0 and 2-0. But Jordan Love looked good. Their young receiving core absolutely looked really good. Defense actually looked good, even with that with that pick 6 from Walker.
Yes.
And Alexander locking up their best receiver with DJ Moore in week 1. Give me the Packers. Packers played a lot better ball week 1. I think they're still going to continue it, even though this is going to be probably a tough battle. But I think Packers are going to pull it off, probably by a 10-point deficit. So give me the Green Bay Packers.
I agree with you. I predicted Green Bay to beat Chicago, obviously, but I did not expect them to put 38 points on the board. I expected Green Bay to win by between 7 and 13 against the Bears. Well, they won by more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Quay Walker with a pick 6. He played very well. Carl Brooks, later round draft pick we drafted, had his first sack of his NFL career. That was good to see. Kenny Clark looked good. You had Jair Alexander, like you said, held DJ Moore under 40 yards. That was very impressive. Jordan Love carved up that Bears defense. Aaron Jones looked good. Hopefully that hamstring injury tweaks not too much because he was really good in the running game and passing game. Again, he's one of the best receiving backs in football. I would argue he is. Some would say that's ridiculous. I don't. And Christian Watson didn't even play. Now, mind you that as well. Romeo Doubs, 2 touchdowns. Green Bay looked really good on both sides of the ball. And I must apologize to our kicker Carlson, Anders Carlson. He did hit a good 50-some-odd yard field goal before halftime. That was good to see from our late-round kicker. Hopefully that continues. Give me Green Bay. I think Green Bay wins. I would say if I had to guess a spread, I would say 6 points. It'll be a lot closer than the Bears game, but give me Green Bay by 6 points.
Okay.
We're on the same. We predicted every game together so far.
So far, who knows? It might change. This might change.
I have some later surprises. I think you'll see. Moving on, the Vegas Raiders or the Buffalo Bills.
I do believe I forgot what is Raiders. Oh, they played the Broncos last season, or not last season, last week.
Right. That was one of the games you got right that I did not.
And it was only by a point.
Right, it was a pretty good game.
It was a good game. It was a good defensive game. I could probably say
Was.
that. It was a really good
Deep.
defensive game.
Yeah.
But I don't think their defense is not going to be good enough against Buffalo. Yeah. Give me Buffalo. Just because Josh Allen, even though he did have 4 turnovers total against the New York Jets, but I don't believe that Josh Allen is not going to do it again. He might have 1 interception, but he I know he's a lot better than that. But yeah, give me Buffalo over the Las Vegas Raiders.
I agree with you. I think if I had to comp Josh Allen, I would comp him to this era's Brett Favre. Sometimes he turns the ball over a lot.
Yep.
But he's elite, and he doesn't, and he always makes spectacular plays, and he's always right there to redeem himself.
Vikings just scored.
Yep. I'd be all right. Again, Philadelphia stalled. They weren't able to put points on the board.
Only a field goal.
Hey, but again, Buffalo, I'm not going to go into too much about Buffalo again. Josh Allen, I'm not selling my stock on the Bills. But what Stephon Diggs and Sean McDermott said publicly about Allen, that was bullshit. That's all I'll say about that. But the prima donna pussies. You talk about that shit in the locker room. Snakes. Yep. Anyway.
Whatever happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. Josh
Allen is still an elite quarterback. He's still a top 3 quarterback. He's still a top 5 quarterback. However you want to look at it, quarterbacks as good as him again don't go 0-2.
Yep.
Just like Pat Mahomes, just like Joe Burrow. Again, he's going to go out there. He's going to light him up. Give me the Bills.
I agree.
All right. The LA Chargers versus the Tennessee Titans. AFC.
Oh, excuse me. See, the Chargers play the Dolphins. Their defense, well, actually, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle both destroy their secondary completely.
He missed that extra point? I mean, he made it, sorry. I'm sorry,
yeah,
my bad.
Yeah, he made it. Even though they both lost, Tennessee lost to the Saints out of all teams.
I mean, the Saints. I'm telling
the Saints
you, man,
they I think everyone's gonna just be sleeping on the New Orleans Saints this year.
That was an ugly game, but like we said, the Saints. We did predict the Saints, both of us, to be the division winner. I know it's the shittiest division in football, but still.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, everyone's sleeping on the Saints. Even though we both believe that they're, like you said, that they're gonna win the division, but it's going to be ugly.
Yes.
Give me the Chargers. Just because their secondary killed them, but they had 2 of the most fastest receivers in the league, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Both of them destroyed the Chargers. Whoever has Tyreek Hill on their fantasy team, and I told you guys to get him, I do believe.
Yep.
Look what I said, week 1. Look how many points he gave you. Almost 43 points. Only 40. He only gave you only 43.
True.
So I'm just saying that. But give me the Chargers. The Tennessee's defense they're not good. The only person that they only got probably worried about as receiver wise is Hopkins.
It's true. That's all they had. Yeah.
And Derrick Henry, but even though everyone knows how to stop him, and Chargers did stop him quite a few times last season, so they know how to stop Derrick Henry. So, but give me the Chargers.
Right, and gets back to what I said in our last podcast. Charging. The Chargers will do what the Chargers do. They go
Yep.
out there against a good opponent, a playoff team last year, in the Miami Dolphins. They go out there, they play a really good game, they look really good, but they still lose.
Yep.
That's charging. And then they'll come out against a lackluster Titans team, not a primetime game, not a game a lot of people will monitor, I'm sure, compared to the other games. And they'll go out there and probably kick their ass. And then they'll play a primetime game eventually and lose and shit the bed again. That's what they do. They'll beat up on bad teams that don't make the playoffs, that aren't going to be playoff contenders. That's how they'll sneak into the playoffs. I'm on record as saying they'll make the playoffs, and they will kind of disappoint and be a 6 seed. That's what I've said on this podcast. That's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to go out there against teams that are obviously worse than them and beat up on them. And the Titans are obviously worse than them. Justin Herbert's going to have a good day. He's on my fantasy team, which helps. Give me the Chargers for that reason. That's pretty pessimistic, wasn't it?
A little bit, not too much.
Sorry, Chargers fans. Oh, that's right. There are no Chargers fans. You guys can't put Chargers fans in you guys' arena for nothing. Anyway, moving on.
Ooh.
Stay in the world of LA. The Niners and the LA Rams. Who you got?
Well, look how they played against the Steelers.
Sorry, but they kicked their ass.
We couldn't. Our defense. We added so many too many good defensive players. Our defense looks stacked. Better. Give me the 49ers. There's not a lot to say again for the Los Angeles for the Rams. But it's I don't see anything. The Rams does not have a good enough team to compete against the San Francisco 49ers. They don't. On paper, there is no one on the Los Angeles Rams to compete against the 49ers except for one person and one person only, and it's Aaron Donald.
And you're correct. And the Niners have a much better offensive line. They have a much better team. You're exactly correct.
From top to bottom. Even their backups. If you put their whole entire the San Francisco 49ers, if they put all their backups, they could still beat the Rams.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, I'll give the Rams this. They beat a team they probably shouldn't have against the Seahawks. But the Niners are my pick to win the Super Bowl. I think they're easily the best team top to bottom in football. I think they're finally going to be able to take that step and maybe not, have 5 fucking quarterbacks all season long and actually be able to, have a healthy quarterback and win the Super Bowl finally. And I think Purdy is that dude. This is an easy one, Niners.
Yep. But I'll say this, though. When the 49ers played against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Bosa did not do nothing to help that defense against everyone else. Because you want to know why? Our rookie tight end, Darnell Washington, I could say right now, he is the best blocking tight end in the league right now.
Really? Okay.
If you ever see all the highlights against week 1 against the 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I did.
Did Nick Bosa do anything? No. And you know who was on him the whole entire game? Darnell Washington.
I get it, but it's one game.
I know, but I'm saying it right now. Darnell Washington is that guy. He is that tight end. He is the best blocking tight end in the league. No other tight end in the league can stop Nick Bosa. No one.
And that's true.
No one.
But I need a little more sample size in one game. Give me one season. At the end of this season, I'll be able to tell you if that's true or not.
I could probably half the week. Anyways,
moving on. I think we'll have a different one here. Possibly, we'll see. New York Giants versus the Arizona Cardinals.
Giants totally looked so good against the Dallas Cowboys.
You talk about shit in the bed.
Yeah, that was.
Bad.
Even Saquon Barkley looked horrible, but
Well, that's
I
because
can't blame
they
them
got
because
down.
they didn't do anything.
Oh, you also got to look at the fact that they were down early in that game by double-digit points. So you're not going to be running the ball when you're down by 20, when you're down by
No.
14, when you're down by 20, down by 28. You know what I mean? What are you doing? You're trying to throw the ball to catch back up.
They're against two horrible teams. Arizona's horrible.
Yes.
New York Giants was
Yes.
horrible. You can already tell that by week 1 they looked horrible. Their offensive line just basically did the longest yard when, yeah, basically just let them just walk right by.
Literally.
But the New York Giants is better than the Arizona Cardinals by far. I'm going to give them one more chance. Give me the New York Giants over the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see if their offensive line can actually do something. Let's see if they do that, because I don't. Arizona has no one on their defense. No one.
You know? Okay. Well, it's finally happened. We have a different one.
Oh no.
Because I did this list like 3 days ago, I'd say, probably. And I have the Arizona Cardinals. And you're right. The Giants probably should win. But did you keep track of the Cardinals? They actually played the Commanders pretty well.
Oh, I
They
did.
looked okay. They kept that game closer than I think some thought it would be. They still lost. I think the Giants, they overpaid Daniel Jones. I think maybe Daniel Jones has lost some confidence.
Yep.
I think maybe that team has lost some confidence. I'm on record as saying the Giants are going to be one of those teams to take a step back this season and miss the postseason. I know everything kind of says on paper the Giants, but with how they looked on that Cowboys game, holy crap, they looked like crap. And I think eventually they'll probably pull it together and win 2 or 3 in a row eventually. But I think there's going to be a lot of panic in that building early on in the season because Arizona surprised me with how they played. I think they're a young team with some confidence. For some reason, and just my gut feeling. I mean, the Cardinals, I don't know why. My gut feeling. It was
Yep.
my gut feeling 3 days ago. It's my gut feeling now. I don't know. Moving on. We'll stay in New York. The Jets or the Cowboys? Jets.
Well, if the Cowboys did the exact same thing as what they played week 1 against the New York Giants, I don't think Zach Wilson is not going to do anything. He got lucky. I would say that he got lucky on a few plays, trying to get out of the pocket, even though he should have been sacked. But I don't know how he did it. He honestly looked pretty good week 1. Not gonna lie. He
yeah.
played really. He did really good.
Yes.
He went 14 for 21, 140 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Like,
He did
okay.
what was required of him. I've seen a lot of the mainstream media saying, "Oh, is that good enough?" Listen, if you're winning 40-0 and you're kicking someone's ass, why are you going to go out there and throw the ball and risk having a fumble or a strip sack or an interception? Why would you do that? That makes no sense. No one coaches football that way. These mainstream media need to get their head up out of their ass and stop caring about statistics.
Mm-hmm.
They have no idea what the actual game looks like.
So, and even though Dak Prescott, he looked horrible, he did not look his greatest.
I mean, I think he did just fine. I think you were right. Though. I think you were right. He did what was required of him to win the game.
He didn't do anything.
Exactly.
His defense did it all.
Exactly.
His defense did it all. I don't get it. But yeah, He went 13 for 24 for 143 yards.
Yeah. When you're
That's
winning
not
that much, you don't need to throw the ball.
when
You
you
just
when
don't
you
need
have
to do it.
Pollard
Huh.
Pollard, he only had 70 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. But I'm just
Did?
saying this. If you're up that or in the first quarter they were up 16-0, you could at least done something.
Come on, man. You played the game too.
I know.
You
If you want
don't do the game that way.
if you want to do something, if you want to rub it in someone's face, rub it in more. That's what I'm saying. It's week 1. You have to or put your foot down somehow.
Okay.
Give me the Cowboys.
Okay.
Hopefully Dak Prescott doesn't do or plays a lot better than what he did. Even Pollard only had only 7 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. But give me the Cowboys. I don't think the Giants or the Jets is not going to be. They're going to be the better New York team, but give me Dallas.
And you see, this is where we're going to have our most heated game this week because, and it's the ironic part, we actually agree on who wins. I think the Cowboys are going to win, but come on, man, you acting like 70 yards and 2 touchdowns is a horrible. That's a good ass game, man.
I mean, it's good. It's good. I'm just saying though.
And
Like you could have done so much more.
maybe, but Micah Parsons was running all over the field. My God, their defense was their offense. They had a 2-touchdown lead before Dak Prescott even stepped on the field. Why would you even throw the ball? I'd be going out there like this. Hell yeah. And we're rushing it down the throat for 2 touchdowns too? Hell yeah. But you don't need, that's my thing. You just don't need to throw the ball. Why would you? If Green Bay is up 14-0 Sunday against the Falcons, which that'd be great. And let's say they do it by defense or special teams, they don't have the offense on the field yet. I would expect Green Bay to go out there with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones and run the football. Jordan Love don't need to go out there and do what he needs to do. I think Dak did what was required to win.
Barely. He did the bare minimum.
And the Jets, I covered the Jets a lot in my short take, but that was the most Jets thing I've ever seen ever. That is all the hype, all season long, all off season. It's all we heard. Aaron Rodgers came out of the darkness retreat. He's going to play for the Jets, like Brett Favre did back in the day. And yes, he did play for the Jets. He did. But he threw one pass and it was incomplete and he tore his Achilles.
Yep.
And Aaron Rodgers is a top quarterback of all time. He's top 5 in every major category: touchdowns, passing yards, QBR. He's top in all of it. He's a Hall of Famer right now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's left a lot of good memories in my heart as a Packer fan. He led us to a Super Bowl victory against the Steelers. I'm sorry. And I can't say I wanted it to happen because I didn't. He's my favorite quarterback of all time. But wow, the Jets are cursed.
They are.
The Jets are cursed. They are cursed. So Cowboys, that's all I'll leave. The Jets, they are just cursed.
So here's a question for you. Do you think he's going to come back? Or is he just going to say enough's enough? He's 39. Well, how old is he? 39?
He'll be 39 by the end of the season.
Okay.
Aaron,
So
let me double confirm that. I don't want to tell the viewers wrong.
So he's old.
No, he'll be 40 December 2nd.
Okay.
So he would be 40 when the season started.
So a 40-year-old coming back from an Achilles injury.
Yes, I think he'll come back.
You think
Here's
he's
why.
going to be his old self, or is he going to be like a Brett Favre and
I think
okay?
I think he'll be okay. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Do I think he'll be above average? Yes. Do I think he'll be the Aaron Rodgers of 2015, even 2020, 2021 when he won the league MVP both those years? No. No, I do not. Do I think he'll at least go out there 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 4,000-ish yards? Yes.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to go out that way. Think about this. Tom Brady has children. He retired. Makes sense.
Mhm.
Peyton Manning has children. Married. Has a family. Makes sense. Brett Favre, same thing. But they all played at least till 40. And Aaron Rodgers is not married. He has no children. He's not even engaged. What else do you have to do? What else are you doing?
Being in the dark room.
Exactly. What else are you doing? What else is there to do? Might as well. Let's try to prove them wrong one more time, right? Jets
True.
have a loaded roster. They do.
A lot of young
if
people.
Even if he's even just good,
That good
that's
enough might be good enough for the playoffs.
Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Truly. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. Trent Dilfers won a Super Bowl. Rex Grossman played in a Super Bowl. You don't have to play like Patrick Mahomes to get into a Super Bowl. Their roster is plenty good enough. I thought they were going to miss the playoffs this year based on a bunch of different factors I talked about previously, but yeah, I think he's going to come back. Absolutely.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Good
Moving-
question. Good question by me. Good question by me.
Side topic. It was.
Side topic. A little side topic. A little bit
Moving
on
forward.
a short take on our podcast. It's fine.
That's right. We like it.
Boom. Boom.
We're free balling it. All right, Commanders.
We've always free ball it. Commanders
Or the Broncos.
or the Broncos? Oh, Sean Payton. He actually had really good game against the Raiders, even though it was not against their favor. Losing by 1. And Washington actually came back against the Cardinals. And they actually looked I would say they actually looked really good. Even with the interception of Sam Howell had. But I do believe that give me the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
Just because Sam Howell he played really good. Their defense stopped the against Arizona pretty good. In the second half when they were down, they fought. But yeah, that defense looked good again in the second half. I do believe it's going to happen again against the Denver game. Washington's going to be down. And they're just going to come back and win. So
come back and win.
They're going to come back to win just like they did against Arizona, because Arizona and Denver, to me, I think they're going, unless they bounce back or Denver bounce back somehow. But I do believe it's going to be a nice little rough start for the Denver Broncos. I think they're going to be a rough start for them. But they're going to start winning games. Probably not that, or in week 2, they're probably going to be about 6 or 7 is when they start winning games, when they're going to start warming up. But yeah,
You said that before.
Yep. So
Right.
give me Washington against Denver. I think they're the better team.
I agree. I mean, they beat the Cardinals. I know it was 2016, very ugly football game, but ugly doesn't matter in the world of football, does it?
Nope.
Because the Denver Broncos lost an ugly football game. Who cares how you win? The Commanders, some people think we're sleeping on them. I think we are as well. Denver, Russell Wilson looked better. He didn't look like the old Russell Wilson. He doesn't look as athletic as he once did in Seattle. He's not as accurate as a thrower unless has the ability to scramble, and he's not scrambling. So people aren't guarding his scramble anymore.
Yep.
With that being said, they're more so guarding the field, which gives you no longer have to worry about his running threat because he's not doing it for some reason.
Nope.
So now he's only throwing the ball. He's one of those quarterbacks that needs to be able to move. Unless I think he might have lost the ability. He just might not be in his prime anymore. And my God, maybe he was a system quarterback because Geno Smith looked just fine last year.
Mm-hmm.
And Washington has a good team top to bottom. Give me the Commanders.
Nice.
Moving forward. This is going to be a fun game. Dolphins or against the Patriots?
Oh, it's funny. Give me the Dolphins. There's no question about it. Unless the Patriots decided to play defense somehow against the two fastest receivers in the league. I don't see New England bouncing or playing defense against them two. I don't see it. I do not see it at all. So give me Miami. Like I said, they have the two fastest receivers in the game, in the league. Tua's actually looked pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, give me, and I'll probably say this. In that game, Tua's arm, his arm power, his throw power, actually looked good. Even though it was okay last season, but excuse me, but that power in his throwing, it's scary. He actually looked really good. Not gonna lie, his throw power was his throwing arm, everything. It looked a lot better than last year. I could give him. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
It looked 100% better from last year. So give me Miami over New England, no question, on Sunday Night Football.
I agree with you. I'm on record on this podcast as saying Miami will make the playoffs based on them succeeding early on in the year. I said this on the podcast. I think they'll falter later on in the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think when the weather's nicer, there really aren't a lot of injuries. You haven't been hit a lot yet. Your body feels good. It's early in the season.
Yep.
So Tua is healthy right now. He has an injury history in the past. Tyreek Hill's healthy now. Jalen Waddle's had some bumps and bruises in training camp and whatnot, but he's playing in a nicer weather. They're going to succeed. It happened last year. When the weather gets a little colder, I think they'll falter. They're kind of a finesse team to me. They don't really play a lot of physical football. But I think Josh McDaniels is probably a top 5, definitely offensive mind in football.
Mm-hmm.
Again, early in the season, I do think Miami will win, even though I do think New England played Philadelphia well last week. Mac Jones looked pretty good. But give me Miami. I think their ability to score will be too much for Mac Jones.
Yeah. I'll give him this. New England is probably going to score because their defense, the Dolphins' defense, did not look good against the Chargers. They did not.
No.
So I don't know if they're going to bounce, or the Miami's defense is going to bounce back. I don't know about that. But like you said, Mac Jones looked good. The New England's offense actually looked good. But I don't think their defense is not going to stand a chance against Miami's offense.
No.
So just say that.
Monday Night Football. There's 2 games Monday Night Football this week. You got the Saints or you got the Panthers.
Ooh.
Monday night.
Carolina looked a little bumpy.
They did. They lost to the Falcons.
Lost to the Falcons, even though he did. Bryce Young did look good. He looked okay, even though with the 2 interceptions. But that's that comes along with it. But I'll probably say this. Give me the Saints.
Oh man.
Even though the Saints, they looked good against the Titans, but it was an ugly ball game. Field goals left and right. But even though Derek Carr threw that touchdown late in the third quarter, but give me the Saints. I think Derek Carr is gonna ball out against the Panthers.
I agree with you. Give me the Saints. I think a lot of it, like we said, we have them as division winners, but we think it's going to be a lot of ugly football.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said a few minutes ago, ugly doesn't matter. They're playing another team that likes to play ugly football. The Saints have the better defense. The Saints have the better quarterback. The Saints have the better receiving core when it comes down to it total. All signs point to the Saints. I have them winning this division. Give me the Saints.
Okay.
Here's a good one. Last but not least, Monday Night Football. Browns, Steelers, rivalry week. Here we go. Got the Steelers or the dog pound.
The way the Steelers
Right.
played against the 49ers, but the Cleveland is not, they're not good like the I cannot talk. The San Francisco 49ers is. Even though Myles Garrett did a little crossover, against a center and won, because basically told him what he was doing, and he did it and beat him. But oh man, this is going to be a tough one, because I don't see. Actually, I do kind of see it, but you know what? Give me the Steelers. Give me
With
the
your
Steelers.
heart or your mind?
My heart and mind.
You started, but you said heart first.
Yep. With my heart, it's going to be with the Pittsburgh Steelers all day, every day. So give me the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Cleveland Browns. Our defense they're a lot better than what they played against the 49ers. It's just the fact that we just need to communicate on the defense side, especially our secondary. They need to do something on their defense. And when you know how to tackle, but I do believe we're going to bounce back, and we're going to be 1-1. I don't think Deshaun Watson is not that quarterback anymore. How he was when he was against when he was with the Texans. Because even last game, he went 16 for 29, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception.
He did run 1 and 2.
And oh yeah, he did run in 1. But still, not good.
To prevent you from having an aneurysm, because I've seen you about losing cool there for a minute. Last week I predicted again that the Niners would win. Excuse me. I just didn't think the Steelers were ready to play against a team like that. I think the Browns and the Steelers, they know each other very well. They're no strangers. Definitely not. Never have and never will be. It's like the Packers and Bears to a point. I think the Steelers, Mike Tomlin's going to bounce back. Mike Tomlin's going to be just fine. He's going to have that team ready to play, ready to bounce back. That Steelers defense is better than what they played. Najee Harris is better than how he played. I think Pittsburgh's going to win. I think they're going to bounce back. Mike Tomlin's too good of a coach.
And I'll say this. I will say this. The Steelers are 80-62-1 against the Cleveland Browns.
History repeats itself, they say.
So I'll say that we've had the Browns numbers for quite a while. Even though they sucked, it doesn't matter. It's a rival game. Rivals always play 10 times harder than what the other non-rival teams.
Yep. And I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think Pittsburgh pulls it out at home.
Yep. I do believe so.
Wow. That was impressive. Want to know what's impressive?
What's that?
We had the same results to every single game. We predicted the same, except for the Cardinals game.
Except for one.
So we're going to have to monitor that game closely.
Oh, yeah.
Monitor that closely.
Oh, great minds think alike.
They do. It was like we had like our football, like mind powers or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
So
that's all
we'll
we
see.
have.
It'd be funny if all of our predictions was wrong, except for the
Except that
Arizona
one.
game. Oh, I mean, that'd be funny.
Well, we hope they're not wrong because we both got Pittsburgh and we both got Green Bay. So let's hope that at least they get those two correct.
Yep.
That's what matters.
Ooh.
Anyway, that's all we have for today's unbiased hard take. JB, you got anything you want to add?
No, just right now we're watching the game. Also, the
Yep.
Eagles.
Seven right now, Eagles lead.
Eagles up by 3, almost within the first half.
The challenge play there.
Yeah, that challenge, they did confirm it. It is a fumble. I think they did call it a fumble.
You know, I hate the Vikings, but that's the right call.
Yep. It's almost like the what you call it? The Dez Bryant catch.
That was funny.
Yes.
Dez didn't catch it.
Nope.
But that's all I'll say. Anything else you want to add, JB?
Nope. Other than comment, like the video, subscribe. Like I keep saying before, it's free. Everyone loves free things. Hit the bell.
Free things.
Free. Oh, sorry.
We're
Punch
on
my mic.
copyright that.
I punched my mic. I'm sorry. But
And
we
check out
all
Sports Fact of the Day. That's free too.
Yep, I was about to say our Facebook link will be in the bio. Click the link, like our Facebook page. We have the Sports Fact of the Day. He's been doing actually really good he's been on top of it. But yeah, that is all I have.
Good deal. And we'll see you all after week 2 for that wrap up and then week 3 predictions. Until then, go Pat go, and
Go Steelers.
until next time.
Till next time, see you all later.